Welcome to Alive and Well, the podcast for the new era of high achievers. You're done burning out, and you're ready to lead, work, and live in a rhythm that honors both your brilliance and your body. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a trial attorney turned nervous system strategist, and I've lived the burnout story. I know what it's like to chase your goals at the expense of your well-being. And I also know it doesn't have to be that way. Here, we're redefining success. It's where productivity feels peaceful, boundaries feel like freedom, and energy comes from within. Each week, I'll share practical tools for nervous system regulation, time mastery, and somatic strategies so you can show up with clarity, calm, and confidence in every part of your life. Because you, my friend, were given a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So here's to life and living it fully. This is the path to feeling alive and well. Let's dive in. What's up, you guys? It's Michelle here. Welcome to Alive and Well. Today, we're going to talk about boundaries and how they help us create more energy and feel more energized. I think when we talk about boundaries and the nervous system, it's kind of this circular, like what came first, chicken or the egg thing, because when we have good, healthy boundaries, that helps regulate our nervous system. And then when we have a regulated nervous system, that helps us to set and hold and honor good boundaries. And all of that exponentially creates energy, the energy that we need to show up and be disciplined and motivated and joy-filled and obviously get the things done that we got to get done. And I think in a world that glorifies constant availability and immediate responses to things and we just reward self-sacrifice and we reward overfunctioning and we reward burnout disguised as devotion. But the truth that most of us know intellectually, but we haven't actually embodied and put into practice is that our energy is not infinite, right? And pretending that our energy is infinite will eventually cost us so much. It will cost us our peace, which I think is probably the most expensive thing it can cost us, but it'll also cost us our ability to be present with the people that we love and care about. And ultimately, I think our purpose, because when we are burnt out, we're not able to do the things that we're called to do. So Thanksgiving's coming up, Black Friday's coming up if you guys are listening to this in real time. And I want to do something different. So instead of adding another thing that you can start in January, that might be collecting dust by January, maybe, I want to help you guys invest in something that will actually change how you live. It will change your relationship with time. It will change your relationship with your energy. It will change your relationship with your nervous system. It's called Honor Your Energy. It's a 7-day nervous system and boundaries reset. And I designed it to help you uncover what's draining you. So it's kind of like a little built-in audit. Figure out what's draining you, protect what matters most, and really start living at a pace that's actually sustainable in super practical ways, like step-by-step how to do this. So we're going to talk more about it as we go. But what I thought we could do today is start to unpack what's really happening when your energy feels like it is leaking, right? You're just leaking energy faster than you can refuel. And I've been there. So let's kind of go through this in different parts. So I want to start here with this idea of quote unquote managing energy. If you're anything like me, which I think a lot of you are, that's why you're here. It's why the women that I tend to attract, you've probably tried to manage your energy the same way that you've tried to manage your calendar, right? You're going to color code, you're going to optimize, you're going to squeeze in a few deep breaths between meetings. But the thing is that your energy is not a spreadsheet problem, right? It's a nervous system conversation. Your body is constantly tracking safety. So every time you say yes, when you actually want to say no, right? When everything in you just wants to say no and decline and just be home in your pajamas on the couch, Every time you override your hunger and you push through lunch and work through lunch, every time you're exhausted, but you open your laptop at 5 p.m. to just respond to a few more meals, right? I mean, emails. Every time you suppress what you actually feel and desire and need in order to keep the peace or not be difficult or just make things easy for others. Every time you do that, guys, your nervous system reads that as danger. There's a level of self-abandonment in that your body sees as a threat. And what that is, if we're going to be honest, is it's a boundary collapse in real time. And when your boundaries collapse, what happens is that your body starts to stay stuck in this loop between fight or flight, think overworking, perfectionism, people pleasing, and dorsal vagal shutdown. Think exhaustion, apathy, dissociation, burnout, right? So you might wake up super wired, go all day. And then by the time you go to bed, you're just completely numb and checked out. You're scrolling, you're dissociating, you're not present because rest doesn't even feel safe. So you're overthinking because you're trying to predict safety instead of actually feel it. So inside this mini course that I'm going to be releasing over Black Friday, Honor Your Energy, we'll start here. I want you to start to notice what your body is actually saying no to, even when your mouth is saying yes. Because honoring your energy is not just about doing less, right? It's actually listening to your own limitations, desires, your body, your mood, your energy, all of those things. And then the second part of it, let's get nerdy for a minute, because you guys know I love to go there. When you chronically override your body's cues, you don't eat when you're hungry, you don't rest when you're tired, you don't go to sleep when you're tired. You say yes when you want to say no. When you chronically override your body's cues, your HPA axis gets stuck in the on position. What does that mean? That means that your cortisol levels stay elevated. That means that your vagus nerve, your body's calming mechanism, loses tone. Your prefrontal cortex, that part of our brain that we love because it helps us to plan and prioritize and empathize, that part of your brain actually starts to go offline. So that's why if after a day, you guys have probably been there, put yourself back there, remember, a day of overgiving, a day of overextending, right? A day of being around people that drain you. You might come home and then what happens? You snap at your partner or you snap at your kids or you forget the most basic, simplest thing, not because you're forgetful or mean, because your system is overloaded and it's protecting you in the only way it knows how, and that's by conserving energy. So in the short term, that looks like feeling tired, right? It looks like fatigue. In the long term, it becomes burnout. And that's what I mean when I say energy depletion truly stems from nervous system-based boundary collapse, because your body keeps the score. And I know when you're living just beyond your means energetically, your body feels it. And it's like you're overdrawing a bank account over and over and over again. And then you hit burnout and the debt becomes due. And that's why one of the first things we do inside of Honor Your Energy is start to identify your biggest energy leaks. What are the invisible ways you're spending energy you don't have? And for some women, it's emotional caretaking. For others, it's chronic, being obsessed, like hustle culture around your productivity, overworking, or resentment, right, from unspoken needs. All of these things cause us to spend energy we don't have. And just that awareness alone, you guys, game changer. And then the last thing I kind of want to talk about here is what boundary collapse looks like. So when I talk about our boundaries collapsing, i.e. we cross over boundaries that we know we need to have, we know we set them for a reason. But when we're exhausted and not well resourced, we go for the low hanging fruit and we cross the boundary. What does that look like? It looks like, saying yes when you know that your bandwidth and your calendar are already at capacity. It looks like, sitting down to family dinner and everyone's already around the table and you're trying to answer a quick message in Slack or email before you sit down, right? It's carrying everyone else's emotions. We call it empathy, but it's not having good emotional boundaries and carrying everyone else's stuff. It's, maybe it's physical. Maybe it's ignoring that headache you've had for 4 days now, or, the knot that comes up in your stomach every time you have work on a project or with a client that isn't aligned, but you say yes because you don't want to disappoint, right? Maybe it's feeling guilty when you actually do finally rest and slow down and take time off. And when this becomes the norm, you guys, your nervous system starts to forget what feeling safe and aligned and in integrity with your values and your priorities even feels like in your body. So safety becomes productivity, right? Self-worth becomes like, how much can I do? How much can I produce? It becomes our output. And before we know it, our peace is really contingent on everyone else being happy. And, I speak from experience. I've lived there. I know it so well, especially when I was practicing law and I thought I was handling it well. I was calm. I was composed. I was the go-to person for everything. I could be relied on, counted upon. I did not melt down. But what I didn't realize was that I wasn't actually as calm as I thought I was. I was just shut down. And my body was trying to whisper like, hey, slow down. Hey, you can't do that much. Hey, you need to take a break. Hey, you need to say no. Hey, you need to do some things that are actually fun and not just work all the time. And I kept, replying in that internal dialogue. I will when I have time. Like, I know, I get it. I think those things are important too, but I just don't have time right now. And then eventually, right, the debt became due and my body stopped whispering and it needed to get my attention and the symptoms became louder. And that was really the beginning for me of my own boundary reckoning, if you will. And I think there's something so spiritual about this too. I think it's rooted in, our identity and our worthiness. And that changed a lot for me also. Just this understanding that boundaries aren't actually walls to keep people out. The ideal is that they would be fences that would actually protect what we hold valuable and sacred within, right? Protect what's on the inside of that fence. And when we look around us, everything runs on rhythms, right? Creation runs on rhythms, day and night, right? Work and rest, inhale, exhale. We have limitations. They're designed on purpose, right? We are not limitless. We have limited energy. We have limited bandwidth. We have a limited ability to focus or pay attention before we have to rest. And when we honor our limits as humans, instead of fighting against our limits, everything changes. And the paradox is that we actually become more productive in the long term because what we're doing is sustainable and it's fueled by regulation, not this fight or flight urgency panic mode every day. Boundaries protect your peace so you can actually fulfill your calling. And when your nervous system is regulated, it expands your capacity. What does that mean? That means you can actually hold more life. You can adapt better, adjust better, pivot better, be more flexible, be more creative, have more stamina, all of these things without being sent into fight, flight, or freeze response because you have more capacity. And that's the heart of honor your energy. For 7 days, it's short. For 7 days, I'm going to guide you through short, practical nervous system tools and practices, somatic practices to help regulate your nervous system. But I'm also going to teach you how to set boundaries that will protect your energy. The holidays are coming up. I don't know about you guys, but for so many people, that's a time where boundaries really come into play, right? Our schedules are off, families visiting, we're traveling, kids are off of school. There's so many things that are different that can feel stressful that we have to make sure we have good boundaries to protect ourselves and the things we hold to be important in this season. So for 7 days, I'll guide you through these nervous system and boundary practices that are going to help you come back to that rhythm. They're going to help you reset your energy. They're going to help you regulate your body. They're going to help you feel more calm. They're going to help you reclaim your focus. And if you're ready to go even deeper, I'm also offering a VIP tier that's going to include an additional group call for all VIPs that we're going to do a full energy audit together, which I think is going to be awesome. So I'm going to personally help you identify your top energy leaks, like where are you losing energy? And then we're going to create a simple plan that you're going to leave to like plug those energy leaks up. Okay. Now, when we don't do this work, when we're not regulated in our nervous system, and when we're not setting and holding healthy boundaries, I think that self-abandonment, it doesn't just like disappear because it looks like we're successful or we're getting things done. It really starts to disguise itself as achievement, right? It really starts to kind of whisper in our ear, like, just push a little longer, right? You can rest later, next week or next month or after the holidays or next year, what have you. Push a little longer, push a little harder until your body stops trusting you, because your body's sending you message. And every time you override your limits, you're actually sending your body a message that my needs don't matter. And over time, that message becomes your baseline, and you keep performing peace, right? Pretending that you're good on the inside, forcing yourself to seem calm, watching your tone, while on the inside, you're just running on fumes. The nervous system can't differentiate. They can't differentiate between an unsafe person and an unsafe pattern. And if you keep putting yourself in situations that deplete you, your body assumes that the world isn't safe, right? It just assumes that you're being forced to do these things that your body doesn't want to do, you don't want to do. You keep violating the signals of your body, and it keeps you stuck in survival mode. So that's why honor your energy isn't about willpower, right? It's not about forcing it or pushing through, just like white knuckling it. It's really about repair. Can you repair the relationship between you and your body, right? Can you repair the relationship between you and your energy? Can you repair the relationship between you and the boundaries that protect your priorities and your values? So let me just leave you with a few simple check-ins today. You guys can start doing this right now. 1, start to notice your full body no, right? You know, if you check in with your body for 10 seconds, when someone asks you, invites you to something, asks you to take on a project, asks you to lead something, asks you if you're coming to something, before you say yes, if you take 10 seconds to check in with your body and be like, all right, Michelle, do I really want to do this? Before I text back, right? Notice if there's a tightening in your chest, right? If there's that subtle dread, if your body kind of collapses, if your breathing subtly changes, right? If you get this lump in your throat, those are all signals, you guys. Your body knows before your brain does if this is a yes or a no for you. Can you honor that, right? Can you pause before you respond? So many of us, the response is so automated, right? Yes, of course I'll take it on. Yes, of course I'll be there. Yes, of course I can handle that. Yes, of course I can bring that. Yes, of course. Before we even think about and check if we have the bandwidth or the margin or the time or whatever to do that. So can you create a micro moment to check in, calendar with yourself before saying yes? Because safety lives in the pause, you guys. And then I think finally, the third kind of simple check-in you can start using is, instead of asking yourself like, man, how much did I get done today, right? How much of my to-do list did I check off? How much of the needle did I move? How much? Start asking yourself different questions, right? Do I feel fulfilled today, right? Did I show up well and focused and energized? How regulated was I able to stay today, right? How stressful did this day feel? What do I need to edit or adjust or pivot or change? Because these are powerful shifts. So how it's going to work inside of Honor Your Energy is you're going to get 3 short video lessons, corresponding like workbooks and mini assignments. This is not a ton of work. This is meant to be digestible. The whole thing start to finish should take you less than an hour. But it's really powerful when you pair simple somatic work with boundary-based practices that take just a few minutes a day creates massive downstream change. Honoring your energy, you guys, does not require a life overhaul. It requires these small new levels of awareness and small sustainable adjustments. So I just want to put this out there because as you scroll through all the Black Friday deals you're going to see Thanksgiving week, I want you to pause, because before you get sucked into another planner or another hack or another productivity app or another supplement or what have you that promises you more energy, ask yourself if the energy you are seeking might lie in the fact that you actually need better boundaries to protect your energy. And that's what Honor Your Energy is here to help you do. It's going to help you reset your nervous system, reclaim your bandwidth, and rebuild rhythms that support the woman that you're becoming. So enrollment for Honor Your Energy is going to be open the whole week of Thanksgiving, from the Monday before Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday. If you upgrade to the VIP experience, you're going to get an energy audit plus an additional live call for VIPs only, where I'm going to personally help you craft your own nervous system aligned plan for the season ahead. And if you're feeling ready to feel right, rested and peaceful and present again, especially through the holiday season, you guys, keep an eye out. Emails are going to come through. We're going to talk about it on the podcast. I'll talk about it on social media. This is your reminder that honoring your energy is not selfish. It's such a sacred, selfless act, because when we fill our cup, we know that we're then able to pour out and help others, right? Our body has been waiting for us to listen. So thanks for being with me today. Thanks for just refusing to live burned out. Boundaries are such a power move when it comes to conserving our energy and protecting our energy and honoring our energy. And I'm believing that this is the beginning of this next season where we get to work and live and parent from overflow instead of from a place of exhaustion. I love y'all so much. I'll talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
Thanks for listening to Alive and Well. If today's episode resonated, would you do me a favor? Take 30 seconds and leave a 5-star rating and short review. It really helps to get this show out to other people just like you who could also use the information in this podcast. And if you're ready to take the next step in regulating your nervous system, download my free Nervous System Reset Guide. It's linked right in the show notes. Inside, you'll find simple, body-based practices to help you feel more clear, calm, and connected starting today. Make sure you're following the show so you don't miss out on what's coming next, because you were made to thrive. Fully alive, fully present, and fully well. I'll see you soon.